Hey, welcome back to DieCash Cars. So if you guys are anything like me, you guys like to think of yourselves as experts within this hobby. You're able to navigate and find and pick up and wheel and deal for all the cars that you want and need for your collection. But the truth is, we all make mistakes, myself included, and today I wanted to capture my top 5 biggest fails as a Hot Wheel collector, and I'm sure you guys can relate. Starting with number 5 on my list, which is making bad trades. So earlier on in my collecting career back in 2018, I pretty much lived by the philosophy of collect what you want. It's not about the money, it's just about the cars. And one of the hottest cars at the time were the black and gold 50th anniversary Hot Wheels sets, right? So there's 6 cars in the set. Can't even recall what they are, but I just remember that the chase car was a gold 67 Camaro, and it was pretty much one per case, so it was hard to get. And I searched high and low all over my town. I could not find it, but there was one fellow collector that pretty much knew all the drop dates for these cars and was pretty much the first to every single one of those cases. He knew I was searching for it, so we started to talk about trades, and it just so happened that during that time frame I had come across my second set of Japan Historics. So he had offered me a gold Camaro for this guy right here, Japan Historics Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. And I had 2 full sets, and I didn't have an issue, at least at the time, trading something that I had a double for that gold Camaro. So easily done, made the trade. I did check values back then too. Again, I wasn't as serious about it as I am today, but they were both in that $15 to $20 range at that time. The thing I failed to consider, guys, is what the car's current values were, and then also to think futuristically, where are the values going to be going? Guys, when you make trades, just make sure you're thinking about everything. Present, future values. You're thinking about the particular releases themselves. I mean, it's easy to make trades for like releases, right? So super for super, premium for premium, but when you start doing some hybrid trades like this, you just want to make sure that the values are comparable, past, present, and future. I will say the one good thing about this whole trade was that the guy I traded with, me and him eventually became pretty good buddies, and even to this day, he lords this trade over me every day, so eat your heart out, dude. You know, your story lives on YouTube forever now. Number 4 on the list is getting scammed. So I like to think of myself as pretty seasoned within this hobby. I should be able to spot a scam a mile away, and yet I myself fell victim to one of these scams just maybe 2 years ago. So one of these had popped up on Facebook. Ford GT40 short card, but it wasn't the main line, it was a Super Treasure Hunt. The seller was selling it for $30, and I thought that was just too good of a deal to be true, and that it was. I didn't realize it at the time, but I just thought the seller was trying to be good-hearted and try to pass on the deals, that maybe he had picked this up from an international seller at a really low rate or something, I don't know. But nonetheless, I messaged him. He only took Facebook Pay, which probably should have been my first alarm that this was going to be a scam. But I just was so blinded by the deal. I took it, sent him the money, gave him my address, and he was pretty communicative for the first day. But then it just went cold. The next day, he didn't say anything anymore, and that's when I realized it was a scam. We all know this car at the time was probably going for about $100 to $150 as a Super Treasure Hunt. Currently, it's around a $200 car. So again, $30 was just too good to be true. Again, I went through all my avenues of trying to correct the situation. I called PayPal, but again, everything was essentially done through friends and family, so there was no getting my money back. I think the worst thing about the situation, guys, was that I felt so defeated and embarrassed. I didn't even tell anybody else on that page, right? I think the rule of thumb is if you get scammed, you should at least let the admin know so that they can block those Facebook users so that they can't post anymore, or just kick them out of those Facebook groups altogether. Number 3 on my list of all-time Hot Wheel fails is getting rid of cars way too soon. Hashtag too soon junior. So going back to 2018, first year I ever joined RLC, one of the cars at the time that was being released was the Pink Party Datsun 510. And earlier on in my career, guys, I did not understand the fascination with the Datsun 510. It just looked like such a plain Jane car to me. Just for quick comparison, guys, this is what I thought of that car. To me, it looked like the Simpsons family car. I mean, a pink boxy car. Yes, I know this isn't Spectre Flame, right? But that's what it reminded me of, and I didn't understand everybody's fascination with that car. So again, I had no problem trading it because at the time I was living by the philosophy of collect what you want, don't worry about the value. I definitely did not have DieCash mentality back then. So I did purchase it off RLC, and when I got it in hand, I already was putting it out there on the trading block just to see what I could get for it. So I did get a trade offer. There was a gentleman who had offered me a whole lot of JDM cars from the early 2000s, and I couldn't pass it up because those are a lot of the cars that I did not have in my collection at the time. I can't recall what cars specifically. I know there was some Skylines and some Civics, but nothing that cost more than maybe $5 to $8 on eBay. And based on the quantity and the current eBay price of those cars, again, secondary market, essentially the top value of those cars, I felt like it was a fair deal. The 510 Pink Party at the time was maybe selling for $75 to $100. So I took the deal, and fast forward to 2022, that Pink Party Datsun 510 is selling for $300, and that whole entire JDM lot that I had traded for at the time is worth exactly what I paid for it, maybe even less. So rule of thumb here, guys, is try to hold on getting rid of cars until you understand the true value of what they are. RLC pieces especially, they tend to shoot up in value without any notice, and they happen very randomly. So I think it's a safe bet to obtain RLC pieces and hold them for at least a year before you make any decisions whether you're going to keep it or not. Number 2 on my list is opening super treasure hunts. And I know there is a good portion of the collecting community that you guys pride yourselves in being loose collectors, and that's totally fine. This is purely just my own personal fail, guys. I had a period of time where I felt like I wanted to be a loose collector. I wanted to take the cars out of package so that I could enjoy them and admire them from a 360 view. So that's what I did. I bought a whole bunch of Hot Wheels Super Treasure Hunts, all varying years, models, and different colors. I even purchased this briefcase to basically hold all the cars after I had opened them, just so that I knew I was keeping them in mint condition. But for me personally, guys, it was kind of a disappointment because after I got all these supers and I opened all of them and I got them all in hand, they just didn't give me that premium feel that I was searching for. They were obviously plastic base, so they felt very light in your hand. You couldn't really do anything with them because you knew how valuable they were, so it's not like you were going to roll them around on a table or a track or anything like that. They're really just sitting there for you to look at. And when I put them in this briefcase, I mean, they're essentially hidden from view. I can't enjoy them or look at them. I have to open them up and take them out of their individual slots to really do anything with them. So after a while, I grew tired of them, and I pretty much told myself I would never open up supers ever again because although it was a cool experience, guys, it just didn't give me that feeling that I was searching for. If anything, loose supers to me were just a lot more maintenance. How you display them, how you maintain them and keep them. I felt it was easier and more appreciative if I just kept them in a protector pack and hung them on my wall. And as far as my suitcase goes, there's nothing in here, guys. It's completely empty. I mean, I bought this thing for such a cool project and it just sits in my closet now, empty. So yeah, failure number 2. And the number 1 failure as a Hot Wheel collector, guys, that I've ever committed is quitting Hot Wheels. It was early 2020, right before the pandemic. I just lost interest. I think I got burnt out. Just buying, selling, trading, just that vicious cycle. All the cars in my collection, especially a lot of the higher end pieces, I just got rid of them. Just had no more interest. And the other side of that coin too is that in 2020 there were a lot of other hobbies that were really picking up steam. For instance, Funko Pops and sports cards. So I started to dabble into those, you know, just to get a feel for them, to see if they would spark my interest, kind of like how Hot Wheels did at the beginning. And I still have mini collections of each of those, still kind of going at this time, but again, they just didn't draw me in as much as Hot Wheels did. And going into 2021, I found myself basically being drawn right back into Hot Wheels. I got back into RLC and keeping up with all the releases, and even started hunting for supers again. The interest just grew and grew to where I finally was fully back engaged into Hot Wheel collecting, and here I am making YouTube videos about Hot Wheels. So just goes to show, guys, if you have a passion for it, try to stick with it in the thick times and the thin. You don't have to actually quit. All you need to do is take a break. Maybe you just need a breather. I mean, do some other activities outside of the hobby. I think I was just so engaged to it that it just consumed me, and that's really what I needed. I just needed a break, but I made some really rash decisions. Again, I got rid of a lot of really nice pieces. These are just some of the images off my old phone that I had dug up, and looking back at these pictures, guys, and knowing what I used to have, it almost brings a tear to my eyes, guys, because I had to backtrack and get a number of these pieces back to my collection. So yeah, if you're thinking about quitting Hot Wheels, the easy answer is don't. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody has their own scenario. You can weigh out the situation and make the decision for yourself, but just don't make any rash decisions and regret it like I did. So that's what I got for you guys today. Just proving the point, guys, that no one's perfect, not even me. I'm just a guy, an average collector just like you. The only difference is that I share my path with you guys on YouTube. Let me know your own personal experiences. Let me know where you felt you have failed as a Hot Wheel collector and how you're coming back from that situation bigger and better than before. Like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys next time on DieCash Cars.